Many people in the UAE, they think VPN is illegal. But is it illegal? A lot of UAE citizens accessing public networks when they are going to cafes, restaurants, airports. How safe is that?
The Wi-Fis that you see, especially those that are not password encrypted, can easily take over all of your data.
Cybersecurity has become such an important topic. The UAE faces 50,000 cyber attacks on a daily basis.
This is not only impacting people, but also small, medium businesses, nations.
UAE has been ranked in the Global Cybersecurity Index as one of the top nations.
From 47th place to the 5th place. And now UAE is number one in cybersecurity. We are here to really spread awareness, to spread the culture of cybersecurity.
His Highness Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum always says, do great things, aim for higher and higher.
We need to reach the star, break the Guinness record of the We will do that.
Cybersecurity has become such an important topic. Since the recent adoption of technology, since 5G came in, and since the time of AI, more and more data has been coming in. In fact, 4 billion people out of 8 billion people that are in the world, they use internet. And if they use internet, that means they're more susceptible to attacks that can happen. The UAE has defended more than 70 million cyber attacks in the first quarter. The UAE faces 50,000 cyber attacks on a daily basis. And I have the pleasure of having His Excellency Dr. Kuwaiti over here to share his experience behind this. Dr. Kuwaiti, it's a pleasure to have you on the podcast.
Thank you very much, brother, for this. We really appreciate you covering this important topic. It is definitely not only impacting people, but also small, medium businesses. It impacts, as a matter of fact, nations. That's why we are here to really spread that awareness, to spread the culture of cybersecurity, and to put our hands together for the resiliency of the world. That's our goal.
Mr. Kuwaiti, there is one important question. There was an article which was there in Khalij Times, right? And I want to bring this up, okay? It's about VPN. Okay, which was spoken about. A lot of UAE citizens, when they are going to cafes, when they are going to restaurants, when they're going to airports, they are accessing public networks. They are accessing the public Wi-Fi system. How safe is that, Dr. Kuwaiti, in your opinion? Because you wrote an entire article on this from your side.
Definitely, first of all, the Wi-Fis that you see spread around, and especially those that are not password encrypted, this can easily take over all of your data with a simple certificate or digital certificate that you will assign in. You've been to a hotel, you've been to a cafe, and out of the sudden that pop-ups comes to you and tells you connect, just say yes, yes here, apply, and by that simple click, all of your data going through that node or that hotspot and data perspective will definitely disclose all of your data. And as a matter of fact, this happened. We have so many cases related to a similar perspective, and they use it where someone comes with a fake Wi-Fi and start actually spreading that Wi-Fi in a coffee, in a legitimate place, and start taking and collecting people's information. This is how they can spread as well as steal people credential, people credit cards, people even private pictures, and many of those aspects. And I'm sure you've seen the attacks wherever you're walking, be it in the Dubai Mall and any of those malls, alhamdulillah here, he goes and turns on his Bluetooth and he wants to go and share his Bluetooth with others or share a specific image. And there are so many people, they just curious about this. They want to accept it. By simply clicking that accept, you don't know what you're taking your device
Absolutely.
on. Today, our device is, as people actually in
It's
this...
sacred. It's absolutely sacred, right?
It's priceless.
Yeah.
Sometimes we cannot put a value on that device. So I cannot just share my information with anybody with that simple click. And this is the culture of cybersecurity. That's what we need to spread across all of the community.
Correct.
Here.
And I think in the article, you also spoke about using VPN in UAE is not considered illegal, but it is illegal when it is used for the wrong purposes.
Definitely.
I want you to talk
Yes.
more because many people in the UAE, they think VPN is illegal. I want you to clear that myth for us, Dr. Kuwaiti.
Today we have banks. Many of those banks, as a matter of fact, communicate and connect with worldwide infrastructures across the whole world. And guess what? All of that digital swift transfer need to go through a tunneling, a VPN type of connections. those banks has consumers, has people who are working, as a matter of fact, in those, and they need to turn on their VPN in order to conduct their transactions. And this is where someone is using a VPN for the purpose of a good, for the purpose of a certified, regulated type of VPN. But when we come to those who uses VPN to hide behind an IP address that is located in X and Y country, or to use and build a persona where he comes and start doing many of those cyber
Malicious
crimes,
attacks.
Scams or frauds
Yeah.
or impersonations. This is where we definitely comes in the pictures and ensure all of those legal aspects of the UAE laws are applied. And alhamdulillah, all of those regulatory law enforcements are really working hard in order to make this community safe.
100%. There's always a shortage of talent. What do you think of the talent currently which exists? Is it there yet?
Definitely, it's not there. Otherwise, you won't hear of all of those cyber crimes, cyber terrorism, cyber attacks, cyber warfare. So definitely, we need more and more channels every day, every single hours. And as a matter of fact, with as much we've empowered them with AI, we still need those talents.
Oh, 100%. And you know, I think we see what's displayed over here, right?
Yes,
The
yes.
impact of cybersecurity cannot be enough. Like, for example, you have the Ain Dubai model. For example, if a terrorist was to get access to Ain Dubai, and if they increase the speed of the rotation, that can cause a massive impact. For example, if a terrorist was to get access to the Dubai metros, they can increase or decrease the speed of the metros and cause collisions. I love all these examples that you've displayed. Talk to me more about that, please.
So this is, we call it the twin city, a digital twin city of the real city. And what we reflected here, all of the Emirates of UAE trying to bring an iconic theme of that Emirates, as well as trying to cover all sectors. We have covered, as you've seen here, for example, the amusement, we covered the tourism, we've covered aviation, the energy, and this is very important part. And the energy is actually the nuclear energy facility, where we have more than 4 reactors working together in order to generate 25% of that energy. With a single attack into that distribution lines, you will see the whole city, the whole nation, 25% of the whole nation goes offline. And that's some of the examples that we had. And as a matter of fact, on the big screen, because we have connected this twin city to a virtual, let's call it cyber range, where entities, or what we brought actually as universities, they are competing between each other for one cause, to defend as well as to protect all of those from adversaries. Well, this is what we are actually really working with, be it academia, be it the private sector, be it the whole ecosystem working with us for one cause and one cause only. It is the resiliency, it's the protection of those critical infrastructure and the people behind them.
Absolutely. It sounds fascinating. And in fact, UAE has been ranked in the Global Cybersecurity Index as one of the top nations. Talk to us about this achievement, right? How did this come to be?
Thank you very much for bringing this. And this is why, as a matter of fact, here in GITEX, we've seen more than 25 nations coming to UAE in order to get that model, the UAE cyber model. Well, alhamdulillah, we're blessed with a great leadership. We're blessed with the great partners helping us in order to achieve this. So UAE in 2019, 2018, we used to be in the 47th ranking across all of that cyber global index. And alhamdulillah, after 2 years, we came to the 37, 36 ranks. And then we had a big jump on the 2022 after COVID with all of the digital transformation we did. And we came to the 5th place. And now with the latest, alhamdulillah, scores and indicators that they released, UAE is #1 in cybersecurity, with a great, again, elite who are actually working with us in that perspective. It's not a UAE behind that only, the Cybersecurity Council, but as a matter of fact, everybody who helped us on that, from every single small and medium businesses you see here, from the big partners, as well as from the education sector, and the government who actually as well supporting us in many of those aspects.
Absolutely. Partnerships play a very, very important role,
That's
right?
exactly
And
the
it's
point.
great to see, normally when you think of UAE, it's considered very safe in the physical sense. You know, so many rankings are there, and now in digitally as well, it's becoming very, very important. And speaking of collaborations, right? The council, the UAE Cybersecurity Council, collaborates with a lot of different nations. I think you have a collaboration with White House as well. Just talk to us about the different collaborations.
It's a great point that you brought on. And I'm sure you know that those cyber crimes, cyber terrorism, and cyber warfare are cross nations, and they are not specified in a specific nation or a specific country in this regard. And they do not distinguish between a person, between a company, between even a government in that aspect. And the most important threat that we actually care about is the ransomware.
Right.
A ransomware that comes and lock all of your infrastructures as well as start leaking your information from one end and extortion and blackmailing you to actually pay an amount in order to release this information. So the whole world realized the importance of this. The White House have released an initiative called Counter Ransomware Initiative. And that Counter Ransomware Initiative started almost a couple of years ago, where we were blessed to be invited to be part of this, giving the strength of UAE from a soft power as well as from infrastructure perspective. And yes, we came in there, and today we have more than 68 nations under that counter ransomware initiative. The goal behind that is to collaborate, is to investigate any of such ransomware attacks whenever it have happened in any of this world. Our goal there, we brought an initiative as well called Crystal Ball. That's information sharing platform where we, in order to share as well as to care about everybody on that, we brought them this platform where everybody can communicate and share their TTP, we call it, tactics and techniques as well as procedures of an attack. We share IOCs, indicator of compromises, IP addresses or checksums or any of those indicators that tells us who is that attacker. So that platform was one of our initiatives under the White House counter ransomware initiative. Alhamdulillah, it's really paying forward, really helping in realizing who's the attribution behind that attack in order for anybody to do the sanctions, to do the legal aspects on this. It does the deterrence because we're building a great, alhamdulillah, community on this and everybody is coming with us in that perspective. We really build a great deterrence. And the most important thing, it builds culture of cybersecurity. People can train, people can share, people can really build up these workshops online to see how they could respond to an attack. Well, alhamdulillah, we've seen a great successful stories from that.
Absolutely. Most parents and even kids these days, right? Though cybersecurity is such an important aspect, like you just highlighted, they have no knowledge about this,
Yes.
Dr. Kuwaiti, as you're aware. How can more and more people get awareness, especially from that young age? What is happening in the UAE to support that?
That's an important topic you brought here. It's not about governments as well as entities or enterprises. It's about the human being. It's about those kids who are really using the technology more than we do and who are faced with so many child crimes online. As a matter of fact, we have so many cases in this regard. Alhamdulillah, we are spreading the cyber awareness across those community. I can recall a case about the cyber bullying where a young girl, 11 years old, 12 years old, was really bullied on school, bullied online using this Photoshop, deep fake, misinformation, and she dropped out of school because of all of these social media pictures that spread across the whole things and the whole community. She really felt embarrassed in that perspective. Now the information, when you spread it across the community physically, it will disappear after 1 or even less days. But the most important, virtually, that information always stays there. It shame that person. It really bring many things to him. And this is why that little girl dropped out of school because of this. And until we brought the rehabilitation and we really started working in many of that cases and even awareing the people and their parents in this regard, it took a whole year of her study to be lost because of such bullying in that perspective. It really impacts people and their family.
Absolutely.
And because of this, we really spread that cyber pulse. It's an initiative that we need to ensure the awareness spread across all of those community. And you're doing that. This event that we do as this great broadcast that we actually make, it is spreading awareness, and that's our goal.
You brought up a very, very valid point over here, especially with the inception of AI, how it's taken over, right? The images that can be generated through AI, they look so real. In fact, just not images, even videos are being generated, deep fakes and everything of that sort, right? How can people actually differentiate online? Like, like this whole thing could have been avoided if these social media platforms are able to know what is real versus what is fake. What's your take on this, Dr. Kuwaiti?
Definitely, there are so many initiatives here and there. in order to counter such deep fake aspects,
Yeah.
because it can take the whole economical market down because of some simple aspects or lie or a rumor that happens here and there in this perspective. So definitely there is some regulation under study currently with the social media entities in order to build up a watermark in many of those videos. They come a digital watermark that allows entities or whoever sees that video to really realize that this was made by AI. And this for them to distinguish as well as to ensure that these are not spreading lies, they are really authentic as well as a real information. But I don't know about this regulation yet, but this is one of the examples where there will be a plugin in every social media that allows that social media to really alert the user that, by the way, this is not real.
Absolutely.
I hope this will happen because this will really take off many of those aspects.
Absolutely.
There are as well the creator of those deepfake, the technology, the LLMs. This where there need to be a way of actually allowing those LLMs to have a stamp as well. Whenever they create such things, they create it for education, they create it for something that is really used for marketing or any of those aspects, but not for spreading false news. This is where we think the main topic need to, and this is cannot happen without the collaboration and
Public-private
That's
partnership,
important in
right?
this. Yes,
Like, for
yes.
example, Instagram right now has this option. If anything is created with AI, it does that option. Just please mention to us if this was created by AI.
Correct.
Where are public-private partnerships headed, Dr. Kuwaiti?
Definitely it's heading into a great partnership, a great realization of many of those technology. What we can say from that ecosystem, bringing government, bringing education, bringing private sectors, that's the successful story you will always see. For example, here in UAE and specifically in Abu Dhabi, if I may mention as well, we have 71. That Hub 71, it's an accelerator. It's an incubator.
Yeah.
Many of those great companies really came out of that because of the education, who really thought of that innovative idea, because of the private sector, who took that idea and make it really public and build a company behind it. And then it's the government who supported that company and really contracted with them in order to do 1, 2, 3, 4. And similar successful stories, Dubai Silicon Valley as well is building a great momentum in that aspect. When we bring that ecosystem together, you will always see success. Silo and working into those aspects of solo everybody, this is, I don't think, we tried it before. We saw when the pipeline of the education is not meeting the actual need of those private sector and government, really created this unemployment in that perspective. And this is where, alhamdulillah, having a curriculum with this, with the vision, with the leadership, as well as with a great career path from the education all the way to actually working in many of those aspects, that's what we're working on, and that's what we need to realize.
Beautiful. Talk to me about Cyber E71. I think that's your initiative, which is supporting entrepreneurs who want to do more things in the cybersecurity space. Now, a lot of entrepreneurs don't even know this, or people who want to be that there are such initiatives to help them in the UAE. Talk to us more about that.
There are many let's call it senior design projects.
Yeah.
That comes out of many of our schools, more than 50 universities here in country, alhamdulillah, really spreading and really doing a great senior design projects. Many of those students, by the end of the day, they finish their senior, they get their certificates, thank you very much, I go and find another work. But guess what? You brought a great idea in your senior design project. Why not really building on that idea and taking it to the market? Why not forget about that I just want to start my business here or there? Take that idea. That's your business. That's what we need to actually help. And this is why E71 came in the infinity in order to really take that project, that idea, put them in touch with the private sectors. And we have so many players in that private sector, be it nationals, including the big players like ISP, Internet Service Provider, Etisalat, Do, or even Core 42, or even G42, or even many of the companies that we have from international, from Microsoft to AWS, and many of those big companies who actually take this idea and sit with that group or people who graduated in order to really get their certificate and really give them a hope, accelerate their program, incubate them in that perspective, and even fund them to the level that they can turn that idea into an actual startup. And as a matter of fact, we have two startups today. One of them is CTF.ae, which is valuated at almost 10 million dirham, alhamdulillah, today, just
Amazing.
from those high school student or actually college student who came out of a single idea to build up cyber exercises and to really build many of those aspects. Then we have another as well, companies such as Spider Silk, really worked on the similar aspects, and now they are evaluated as well in a very high level in this perspective. So our goal is to really to enable them, make their business real, and help them in order to achieve those goals.
Thank you for sharing that. I think, as businesses, right, people think different businesses have unique problems, but I think if there are a group of people helping these startups, these people have experience, they can share their experience and lead them to establish million dirham businesses,
That's
which is not
an
easy.
important point.
Yeah.
Maybe they just need to link to the right place.
Yeah.
And this
Or
is
to
where
the right
they were,
people.
and the right people.
Yeah.
This is where they were not actually knowing where to go once they finished this senior design project. Alhamdulillah, we brought them together. We showed them the path, especially in that cybersecurity, and we saw great successful stories.
Beautiful. And I think vision without execution is nothing, right? Like,
Definitely.
you can have the best vision, but unless you execute it, it's not going to yield results. Now, speaking about great visionary things, talk to me about GISEC. Right, GISEC is one of the biggest cybersecurity events happening in the UAE, and you have been closely associated with GISEC. Talk to us about your partnership.
GISEC is one of the most focused type of conferences as well as exhibitions here in the area. It is not only goes into that cybersecurity aspects of companies and partners and this, but actually brings you a great lessons learned from a ransomware attack that happens in X and Y nations. It brings you a solutions of those attacks, how those companies really responded to that and really build it in that. You can see so many nations coming in there. As a matter of fact, we invite 193 nations in that perspective. And one of those testimonial things that we saw in GISEC, where we run the largest cyber drill. That cyber drill, we had more than 140 nations all coming together in order to conduct a cyber exercise, all of them unified in one cause only, to protect those infrastructure that they are all owning, to protect the Mother Earth, if we may say. And imagine when you see all nations united in that. You see the Russian, you see the Ukrainian, you see the Palestinian, you see the Israeli, all of them working towards protecting the infrastructures upon their requirement, upon what we see. So that was a great initiative that we did. Inshallah, this next year we will do one. We've done that cyber exercise, alhamdulillah, in last May, and we're doing the next one, inshallah, for more and more nations to come as well.
That sounds amazing, His Highness Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum always says, do great things, aim for higher and higher. What are you going to do this particular GISEC that is going to break the walls, which is going to be something which people have not heard about? Anything in the making, Dr. Kuwaiti?
So definitely we need to reach the star. We need to account or break the Guinness record of the largest cyber exercise. And we will do that, inshallah, in the coming GISEC. We want as well to have and announce our E71. Some of the startups would love to see some of those real, because that's the successful story. Whenever you see this company who employed more than 100, 200 people and really started with just a senior design project. That's our goal. That's the dream that we want to make it, inshallah, happens on GISEC, and that's what we aiming towards as well.
Perfect. Dr. Kuwaiti, it's been amazing talking to you. Thank you for sharing all your insights. And I think on a final note, any advice from your end to that entrepreneur who's looking to get started but does not know where to begin? What's that first step that they should take from there?
Thank you very much for covering and really coming and hosting us. I really appreciate
We
all
love
of
it,
this.
and we love the whole setup behind it.
Thank you very much. You're really adding great value on this, especially in the cyber culture themes that we all want to spread here. Definitely, I have two last messages here. One is the cyber culture. We need people to endorse as well as embrace technology. Technology is really making us convenient, making our life easier, making many of the things that we do becomes faster and easier and quicker and many. But we need to ensure that cybersecurity is a hygiene. We need to be vigilant before we just adapt those technology. At least we talk that simple hygienes, not to click from any trust, not to give our OTP here and there, not to really share some of this information. So that's advice definitely to the public, and we always try to make that public is our ambassadors of cybers. They are our cyber ambassadors. They are the one who actually spread our word here and there. And my second, again, message here is for the entrepreneurs. Aim high, always aim high. We still just in the start of cybersecurity. I've met some of those entities or again startups who says everything is covered. What can we innovate? What can we really create? Yet there are huge things we didn't even touch upon, especially in cybersecurity with AI comes in the picture now. So never give up of your ideas, please. There are so many things and so many big companies looking for you as a small companies in order to get those great ideas and really build on top of them. So everybody will be definitely benefiting from this digital transformations, and we always support that as well.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kuwaiti, for sharing that. And you heard it over here. UAE is number one for a reason, both in the physical and now in the digital space. We make amazing things happen. And wait for GISEC, just how Dr. Kuwaiti has shared. There are big things planned. Thank you so much for tuning into this interview. Hope you learned a lot.
Thank you.